bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on it. Yeah, somebody gotta do it. I admit it. Hey,
Oh,
somebody
hello.
gotta do it.
Geez, sorry.
Hey, what?
Didn't see you there. I was just pumping myself up for this presentation. I don't know if you know, I'm a big fan of Kendrick Lamar. All right, I don't know why I did that. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited to jump into our new unit on the properties of matter, some of which are physical properties. In my next video, we're going to talk about chemical properties, but for this one, we're all focused on physical. So check this out. Before we jump into the notes, I want you to look at the diamond on your screen and write down 3 words to describe it. Whatever words come to your mind, it's fine. Just write them down. Take a minute, look at that diamond. Go ahead and pause the video, write down your words, and then unpause it. All right, welcome back. What words did you write down? Hard, maybe? Shiny? Tiny? Beautiful? If you did, you likely wrote down some physical properties of that diamond, which are properties that can be observed without changing the composition of the substance or the diamond. So without changing it, that's what a physical property is. It's just part of the property as it is. The ones that we are going to look at are these words. Now listen to these. Sounds like big fancy college words, but they're not. We're going to break them down and get into them, and you'll be using them on the regular in a short amount of time. Check this out. Viscosity, conductivity, malleability, hardness, melting and boiling points, and density. We're going to go through them one by one, and then after this, there's some practice assignments inside your packets that relate to these notes. Feel free to move back and check these notes whenever you want. You can you can use your notes on these assignments except for the mastery check. That one I'd like you to do from memory. All right, what is viscosity? It's the resistance of a liquid to flow. The greater the viscosity, the slower the liquid moves. Now let's think about water. Water flows pretty freely, down a river or throughout the earth, honestly. Water flows freely, and so you would say it has a low viscosity. Whereas something like corn syrup or molasses or even this window, did you know that glass is a liquid? It just flows very slow, so it has a high viscosity. Now any word that's in blue, go ahead and write down in your note packet. I'm going to move through these quickly because you can refer back to them as you get into the assignments, but I want you to think about the words as we're talking about them together. Conductivity is a material's ability to allow heat or electricity to flow, like these metal wires or these metal pipes, tubes. Metal is a great conductor of electricity, whereas wood is not. Electricity hits wood and just dies. This is why your cell phone is made out of metal and not made out of wood. It's because metal can conduct electricity. Well, so can your body. That's why your cell phone works when you tap it, because your body is also filled with electricity. The next word that we're going to look at is malleability. It's the ability of a material to be shaped or hammered without breaking. Like these wires, you can bend them and twist them, and they're not going to break as easy as perhaps a pane of glass. Glass has a low malleability because you can't twist and turn it and bend it. So it's said to have a low malleability. Hardness is another physical property. It's the ability of a material to be scratched, whereas plastic is something that is relatively easy to scratch. A diamond, on the other hand, is very, very difficult to scratch. It's one of the hardest materials on Earth. All right. Again, if I'm going too quick, feel free to pause this at any time and write down the key words in the notes. Let's look at something called melting point. It's the temperature at which a solid becomes a liquid, the temperature at which the ice on that picture becomes glass. For water, that happens at 32.1 degrees. So you call that the melting point, the point at which the material melts. But every object also has a boiling point. It's the temperature at which a liquid becomes a gas. Like, look at this mixture, this cocktail in here, this cauldron. You can see the steam coming off the top of that. That tells you that that is at its boiling point, which for water happens at 212 degrees. If you ever cooked pasta at home and you got to wait until the water boils, what you're doing is you're waiting for that water to get to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it starts boiling. Let's look at density. The amount of mass in a given volume. Okay, so the volume of this beach ball is the size of the beach ball, and the mass is how much matter is in it. So think about that. It's not very dense. It's a beach ball. It's mostly air and gases inside there, and gases are not very dense. But look at this bowling ball. That's filled with matter, and so it's more dense, right? And typically things that are more dense are heavier. In summary, physical properties can be observed without changing the material. They just exist. They just have these properties. And what's up next is there's a matching activity for you in your packet, followed by a mastery check. Feel free to use your notes on the matching activity, but I'd like you to try the mastery check without notes. And let me know when you finish that, and I can come around and sign off so you can start our next video on chemical properties. Ta-ta!